And I just wanted to use this slide as a reference for the sustainable, resilient, healthy food and water systems for our next slide. And so for this slide, this is the pretty much what the previous slide was, but I'm really honing in on these pivot points, especially within the nutrition, the economic, social, cultural, and ethical, and the environmental stewardships, and how Hempseed can really provide with all of these four pillars all together.
I'm kind of going into the safety. A lot of people are concerned with THC. This is from Zhu et al. This is a great picture, kind of going into the multiple, again, speaking to the intradiversity. The different components of the plant have different nutritional aspects. But again, with the THC content in the seed is not physiologically made in the seed. It's considered a contaminant, and it's what they found to be is 0.003%. That's a factor of 100 less than the legal limit in the seed. So hopefully we can see that it's essentially zero THC. Marijuana and hemp are different. Hemp seeds do not have THC. If you take anything from this, please take that. So kind of going into the safety again, THC is very limited. Again, you see most of it in the buds. You have the stems and the leaves that have a little less, and then almost nothing of THC in the roots and the seeds. The studies that I found, there's like barely anything. The safety limit for THC is about 12 micrograms. The study that there are two studies. One is in the European and then one in the US of different products that are available on the market. They're testing for THC, and they were using a standard reference dose of 1 microgram. That's, yeah, less than 10 times, and they didn't find it significant there. So we're well below the THC limit there. And then with heavy metals, one of the sustainable aspects of hemp seeds is that you can have phytoremediation, so help detoxify with heavy metals in soils. But that predominantly is in the leaves. And then in the hemp seeds, they didn't find lead was the highest that they found in it, but it's still well below women of childbearing age. Hemp seeds also a low allergenic food, whereas hemp protein isolate, so processes down the line, is a complete hypoallergenic food. And I just wanted to note that gluten and soy are your main protein sources from vegetables. Or wheat's not, it's not a top. Soy is the main, but soy and gluten are 90% of total food allergens. So we can bypass that. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, we should definitely still throw a lifeline to this plant that has been defamed for way too long, and there's no THC in the seeds. So we need to get to that. So the call to action is to include hemp seeds into a diverse diet and call into the dietetic professionals here. We can influence the food sector through policy, through education, through research. So I'm just doing a call to action for that. And then stay ready. The market's there. For the defamed sister of marijuana, popularity is becoming prevalent, and people are accepting it. And in 2021, we're making significant amount of value that's already come out of hemp seeds from that point. And it's already been known to be valuable since the early 40s, before prohibition. And it's projected to even grow. Like we've had exponential growth with licenses, the amount that we're even growing. RDNs are on the frontiers of food and nutrition, and we're just trying to increase diversity, and this is a definite option here. And it's projected to be $7 billion in 2027. So it's a big market. And then kind of going from a 2010 prediction, they're saying that the government would save billions on the legalization. They would not need to be spending billions of dollars to regulate the use. And also with legalization, we'd be getting almost $9 billion annually and annual for federal and state taxes. So there's a lot of nutriments to this plant. We're just trying to increase the diversity, and RDNs are the key experts to facilitate change. I have also, because there's a lot that we're trying to cover, I've included, we have resources here. Apologize, they're not all AMA, has rushed into it. So all the AMA references are on this document, but everything is APA in that reference to this slide here. And if you want to collaborate, we're here, and we're here for questions.
Oh, we got a good question. Farmers, I'm assuming you're saying, do farmers need a license to grow hemp in Montana?
Yeah, that's actually one of the restrictions too. I think it's a hurdle because they literally need to spend like thousands of dollars to be able to. But yeah, they do need licenses to do that. I think it's unfair because you don't need licenses to grow tomatoes. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars to be able to do that. So it is a hurdle. I think it's because of the misconception that marijuana and hemp are actually different plants, but everybody, or a lot, it's common knowledge incorrectly that they're similar. They are the same plant, but there's no THC, which is the main fear for a lot of people.
And I believe Colleen would also like to add to that question.
Check. Where have you seen Hempseed products used in various foods? Products used in various types of foods. So, I mean, if you go to, for instance, what is it? The natural grocers. If you go to like co-ops and stuff, they have them in bulk aisles there already. You can do this. I should probably be easier with a picture. If you look at the appendix, there's all the pictures of the different types of stuff you can do. You can do it within confectionaries. You can do like hemp beers, even hemp drinks. Yeah, like cakes.
And,
flowers.
as products, I saw that you could make them into like pancakes. So we're kind of using it as, because we're trying to increase the diversity of the hemp seeds. So we're trying to add it to like, it can go through different ways of processing. So they have not just hemp seeds, but like they're using a derivative of the hemp seed. So they can make like into a flour, they can make it into oils, they can, so we're trying to really increase that diversity. So even just replacing that and using it within our diet today, it would really help increase the hemp seed diversity. So it's not saying that like you can do one or the other, you could be really creative with it.
Yeah, yeah, no, they sell them, the hemp hearts, that's a very common one. The whole hemp seeds, it's already on the
I saw it in IGA.
yeah.
Andrea had a question for you.
Where have you seen Hempseed products?
No,
On the QA. Okay. Would tell pregnant breastfeeding mom consuming hemp seed daily. Is there any daily amount that could be concerning? Extremely low THC, fat soluble. So again, yeah. So that with the pregnant and breastfeeding mothers, the vitamin is THC is not a concern. As I'll pull out that slide again. You can see that. So the THC is well below what is actually considered safe. So the study was looking at 1 microgram, and they didn't even hit that 1 microgram component. So still 10 times less for the THC. However, for the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A especially is a concern. I haven't been able to find research on that. I was searching. That's definitely a new research topic that we need to be able to answer that question. So it's generally recommended for 18 and over and non-pregnant because of that vitamin A, because you can have those toxicities, and it is a rich source in vitamin A. So it's hard to answer that without the data.
Next question is, does hemp on its own have a flavor or taste?
Yes, definitely. It's got a very nutty taste. The oil, you can taste it in the seeds, the oil, the powder. It's got a nutty, which, yeah, I mean, if you like nuts, I believe you'll like it. It has a different, it's a distinct taste. Some people may be deterred from the taste, but again, we have, with the intro diversity, you can have different aspects of it. So it's, for instance, if you do the hemp seed protein or the isolate, you have the isolate, the hydrolysate, and other stuff, depending on what you're using as your menstruum to extract the protein and the different processes you do, you can remove that taste because you lose a lot of the organic components that has helped to cause that taste. But there is a distinct nutty taste. It's nutty is the most common description of the taste.
To me, I tried it, I think 3 days ago, and to me, it reminds me of raw pine nuts. That's the best I can describe it in a way because of how rich the taste is. So it's very distinct after you taste it. I think it's just with any other kind of nuts or fruit, like it has a very distinct taste, and overall, like your taste buds will start to get adjusted to it.
Yeah, there's not much, like I haven't tasted a food that tastes similar to it, so it's hard to describe it. It's something to try. It's very nutritious. Some people might not like the taste, that might be a deterrent, but again, when you start doing the isolate, you could put it in a smoothie, fortify your brownies or whatever you're trying to do. There's a lot of different options that you would be able to do with that.
Any other questions?
And we did have to rush through a lot, so I would recommend checking out those appendices and all the other supporting documents. Have all the information right there. Included a lot of the figures and tables that break down all the nutrition and the comparison between the other, which I did skip over that too, because the amino acid profile of hemp is comparable to egg whites, soy, and casein. So those are 3 major proteins that we consider. So if you're just looking at the proteins, definitely look at those comparisons to see how hemp favors. Or fares, I guess is the word. Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Definitely similar.